Anywhere John was this town. I think he probably had more issues with the county as itself, more than the town, because you have to understand, John had, what, 126, 27 acres over there that he annexed into the town of Woodstock. He wanted to be in a town, otherwise he'd have just stayed in unincorporated Bibb County. I've been mayor a year and a half, and I was in office about a month when the podcast came out. Brian Reed came to my house and interviewed my wife. When Brian Reed got up and left the room, we said, you know, nobody's going to know it. I mean, this is not going to be, where's this going to go? And little did we know that 70 million downloads later, here would be. John was a recluse, if you will. I mean, there's people that talk about the podcast that lives here in this town has no idea who John is, never seen him. John stayed to himself a lot. It's odd going to his house because even though you're going to a dirt road, it's dark because the tree line's got it covered like a tunnel. John never greeted you. He'd come out the front door, took a hard left around his house while he was talking to you, and a herd of dogs following. He'd done the same thing every time I ever went to his house. I remember walking around the house with him as he was pointing at plants. Oh, watch out for the forsythia, or watch out for this. And he was picking brown leaves off of them. John was always jittery. John was the type that he could say something to shock you, and then you could question him on it, and then he'd take a hard step back and apologize. If you listen to the podcast, that's the thing people didn't really understand. After the podcast had came out, we had a lot of company of people that show up and come to my house. People I didn't know. People that just wanted to talk to us, some people that was depressed. And my wife started having meetings really on Sunday afternoon. And she started making friends with people from all over the state, all over the country really. She would get a lot of calls from people in Australia, Denmark, England, Ireland. She still talks to several there. A lot of letters of people that was depressed. It was an odd moment for us because, you know, all of a sudden there's people in your home that you don't even know, but they're wanting to talk about the issues that they have. Last year was the first annual Woodstock Music Festival, where we raised a lot of money for our senior center food program. And when the podcast first came out, I think that might have helped because the name was out there. The fact that was going on, that you had some free advertisement, if you will. I took it. So we got a new senior center. We're feeding about 50 a day, looking at growing. If we learn anything from the podcast, it's we could be a lot more understanding and kinder to those that are different. You never know what somebody's going through.